Hello, everyone. My name is Rashard Elliott, and thank you for taking the time to explore strategies that promote engaging and meaningful learning in the middle school ELA classroom. Today, I want to focus on how we can better support diverse learners by addressing learning styles, multiple intelligence, student motivations, and the four C's of 21st century learning. Middle school students enter our classroom with different strengths, interests, backgrounds, and ways of processing information. Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence reminds us that intelligence is not one dimensional. Some students learn best through language and discussion, while others excel through visuals, movement, music, collaboration, or hands on experiences. In ELA, this matters because literacy is deeply connected to identity, communication, and self expression. So, when instruction only focuses on one method of learning, many students disengage. However, when we provide opportunities to read, write, speak, create, collaborate, students become more invested in the learning process. Now, one instructional strategy I would use is literature circles paired with student roles. So, in a seventh grade ELA classroom, students could read the same novel while taking on roles such as discussion leader, vocabulary coach, illustrator, or connector. This structure supports multiple intelligence because students interact with the text in different ways. Visual learners will benefit from illustration and symbolism activities. Interpersonal learners thrive during discussion, and linguistic learners strengthen comprehension through reading and writing. Literature circles also build confidence because students actively contribute to the group rather than passively receive information. Um, a second strategy is the use of digital storytelling through platforms such as Canva or Adobe Express. After reading a novel or short story, students can create short visual presentations, whether that's a podcast or video reflection, that analyze the theme, character development, or conflict. This strategy supports creativity while allowing students to demonstrate understanding beyond the traditional essays. Technology integration also increases engagement because students interact with content in ways that feel authentic to their daily lives. Now, the four C's of the 21st century learning, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity are essential in a modern ELA classroom. For communication, I would use student-led Socratic, excuse my pronunciation, seminars. Students prepare open-ended questions and participate in structured academic discussions about literature or current issues connected to a text. This strategy encourages students to articulate ideas clearly, listen actively, and support claims with evidence. Now, for collaboration, I would implement peer review workshops during writing assignments. So, students will work together to revise essays, provide constructive feedback, and strengthen one another's writing. This collaboration helps students recognize that learning is a shared process rather than an isolated task. To support critical thinking, I would use inquiry based learning activities. So, what that means, right? For example, students might analyze how a novel connects to the real world social issues, or compare perspectives between informal and fictional text. These activities require students to evaluate evidence, draw conclusions, and think beyond surface level comprehension. Now, for creativity, I would incorporate choice boards for reading response activities. So students could choose between writing a journal entry from a character's perspective, which I find those to be very interesting, design a symbolic piece of artwork, create a soundtrack for a story, or produce a mock interview. Providing options increase engagement because students can connect learning to their strengths and interests. Student motivation is another critical factor when planning instruction. When students feel ownership over their learning, they are more likely to remain engaged and persistent. So, for that, one strategy I would use is goal setting conferences where students collaborate with parents and teachers to create personal literacy goals. Students could track independent reading progress, vocabulary growth, or writing improvements throughout the semester. Another motivational strategy is implementing classroom leadership opportunities such as peer coaches or class ambassadors. Middle school students often seek belonging and responsibility. Giving them meaningful classroom roles help create community while increasing accountability and confidence. And finally, novelty plays an important role in engagement and motivation. Students often disagree when instruction becomes repetitive, right? So novel instructional strategies capture the attention and stimulate curiosity. Well, what does that look like, right? So for example, instead of beginning a unit with direct instruction, I might create an ELA escape room where students solve vocabulary clues, analyze passages, and complete collaborative challenges related to the upcoming text. So with this approach, it transforms learning into an active experience, and engages participation from students who may not typically engage during traditional instruction. So ultimately, effective ELA instruction should help students feel empowered as readers, writers, thinkers, and communicators by addressing diverse learning needs, integrating the four C's, supporting motivation, and incorporating novelty. We create classrooms where students are not only learning standards, but also developing the skills necessary for lifelong success. So again, I am Rashard Elliott, and thank you for your time. Have a great evening.